What's up, nail friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary Rosie and this is Mary Rosie Dips. In today's video, I am uploading a twin mani that I did with a new friend who joined Pampered Pretties Dips as a brand ambassador. And we used Feather Fantasy, and I think this blue one is called Jellybean. Jellybean, yeah. I was like, I said belly jelly, jelly beans. So this is a solid, like robin's egg blue, super pretty. And then the other one, Feather Fantasy, is actually full foils on like a milky white background. So I'm gonna be using Pampered Pretties base coat and their activator. And then I honestly don't even remember if I used the top coat or if I did gel. I guess we'll find out here. I did this, gosh, I think it was over probably a little more than a month ago, and then we just didn't have time to match up on timing to get it done and when to post it, but here we are. I do have, I think I have tips on jelly tips over my natural nails on this hand. Oh, this is just builder gel or rubber base on my left hand. And then what I do is I put top coat and peel base, and that's why my nails are shiny. And so that way I can pop off my manicure quick and easy whenever I need to. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're an old friend joining us again, welcome. So my typical application is 2 layers of solid color and 2 layers of a foil, and then I do 1 layer of clear, which will also be from Pampered Pretties. And then that tool that I use to clean around my cuticles is a cuticle cleanup tool from Pampered Pretties, and it also has a wax tip on the other end. I don't use that end often. Actually, I don't know if I've used wax pens before to try to pick up like pieces of chunky glitter to place them, and it didn't work for me, so I just don't use the wax tips for that. But I use them to place rhinestones, which I have separate ones for anyway, so I don't typically use my cuticle cleanup tools for that. But it's definitely worth it to get the actual tool because the end is pointy and doesn't bend. I've dropped it a million times. It just rolls off my desk, honestly. And even uncapped, it has not bent, which has happened with other company ones that I don't use anymore. So definitely recommend that. And then anytime that you're working with a foil, the best foil brand in the market comes, or I should say foil dip powder comes from Pampered Pretties. They get excellent coverage. You could easily do 1 layer of this foil dip powder and be done. I chose to do 2 just because I wanted a little bit more of the foils to come through. If this was a darker color, I would probably just do the 1 layer, which is fairly common for me, to just do 1 layer of definitely of chunky glitter and mostly 2 layers of foil dip powders. They're very, very easy to work with. So the easiest way to get nice, good coverage is to lay it in a cupcake liner. Treat it like a chunky glitter by laying it and pressing down. Me doing this right now just ensures that those pieces of foil actually stick to the dip base and they don't just easily all brush away, because then what would be the point? I know some people, if you watched other YouTube videos, they will pour over their first layer even of a foil. I don't do that because it's not thick. No matter what you do, foil dip powders, if they are good quality, it will not be thick, it will not be chunky, and it will not bleed. If you have any of those issues, change to a different brand. And again, like I said, I 100% recommend Pampered Pretties. So I'm gonna do 1 full layer again, just like I did on these, and I'll let you watch and I'll be back. At this point, if you wanted to, you could, well, a lot of people that I see in the dip community will do a stiff brush of the excess foil in either the first or the second layer. Rarely do I do that. I guess, I don't know, it's just personal preference on how much foil you want. If you do a stiff brush, what that's gonna do is it's gonna break up larger pieces of foil. If you have a foil dip powder that has bigger pieces in it, I don't really find the need to do that. I think I've done it once in 4 years of doing my own nails, maybe twice. So like I said, personal preference on how you want the actual foils to look. So at this point, after I have done 2 layers of the dip on each of my nails, I am doing 1 layer of clear dip powder to encapsulate, and you'll see me do that here on all 5 nails. And I am using Pampered Pretties clear dip powder. Definitely recommend it. It's super crystal clear. I've been using it, let's see, I think I was using Pampered Pretties for a year before I became a brand ambassador, maybe a little bit more than a year. And the clear hasn't ever changed. It's amazing. I think all she did was just change the jars, possibly, like the size and stuff, but not the actual clear. The clear dip powder didn't actually change formulas ever. Like I said, highly recommended. I have a ton of these. So you'll see me apply 1 layer on all the nails, and then I'll come back when we activate. And once we have clear dip powder on all the nails, now I go in always with a stiff brush to remove all of that excess clear dip powder that is sitting on top of the nails and in your cuticles. I do not activate until I have run a stiff brush over all of my nails to remove all that excess clear and color or anything that's on there. You see me touching the nails to make sure that they are already dry, because Pampered Pretties dip base is slower drying. It actually takes, I believe I timed it when they released it, and I did a release video on it. I believe it was 30-second drying time, which is excellent drying time, especially for a beginner. Gives you plenty of time to work with glitters and application and cleaning up your cuticles and all that. But you just want to make sure that your dip is already dry, not necessarily hard, but dry, before you go and brush off anything, especially with a stiff brush, because all that's going to do is cause wrinkles and things on your nails that you'll end up having to buff, which buffing and filing is my least favorite. So I try to get ahead of that by having nice, smooth, even application which will save me time in the end. So I'm activating 2 times all the nails, and that's why you see me doing it there. My activator is running a teensy bit low, which is why you see me tipping the bottle like that. It's just to make sure that the brush is fully wet. And then I apply it all over all the nails 2 times, and that makes sure that it penetrates all the way to the first layer. If you're doing more than, let's say, more than 4 layers of dip powder, I would definitely recommend even 1 more layer of activator. Just make sure you get all the way to the first layer. At this point, you tap on your nails, make sure you hear a tap, 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 clickety clack, and that's how you know they are good to go on filing and buffing. And I love to use my Pampered Pretties buffers and files and get it nice and smooth. And once that's done, again, we activate all the nails 1 time, and then at this point, I think this is where I can't, oops, and then I spilled my activator. Actually, this is why my activator is low. It's because I always tip it over. I have an issue with the stinking Young Nails protein bonds, tipping over and spilling, and activator tipping over and spilling. Anyway, so I take a lint-free wipe, and I wipe off the excess activator after you put on activator once you're done buffing and filing. And now we're ready for the top coat. So Pampered Pretties dip top coat, which I did end up using here. I thought I did gel. I just apply it the exact same way, not going over the same place more than once or attempting to. And then you wipe and go back into the container and move on to the next nail. And I will do that all the way once, and then I'll go right back in for the second layer and do it the exact same way. Go into the bottle, on the nail, without going over the same place twice, wipe, move on to the next nail. And then we'll do 2 layers just like that. And once your top coat is dry, after it takes about 2 minutes for it to be nice and dry, we go in with our Candy Skincare Cuticle Oil and check out how beautiful this manicure looks. Super easy, not hard at all to use Pampered Pretties foil dip powders, and it gives you a beautiful look without you even having to try. 100% recommend. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you. Love you guys. See you next time. Bye.